So, new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds just started and is the first episode worth watching. Let's have a look. Hello, welcome to Intermarifica, New Mexico, the channel where we look at things of wonder from the perspectives of faith and reason, philosophy and theology. I'm your host, Daniel Kelly, and today what we're talking about is one thing that I love to talk about is Star Trek, and I think these cultural wonders that we find ourselves amidst, Intermarifica, there's so many cool cultural wonders, are one of my favorite wonders to look at. And so to keep things spoiler free for the beginning of this video, the first episode was, I liked it. I think there were problems with the storyline, which we'll get into in the spoiler section, but overall I think it was a fun adventure that was self-contained. I think too many shows are not self-contained. If I give an hour of my time, I get a story back. I like that. That you don't need all the mythology and everything else. You can just watch an episode. That's cool. And that may not have been revolutionary, right? At the time of, say, DS9, it was revolutionary the other way to have connected episodes, but I like it where you can just sit down, watch an episode, and that's really cool. One of the things I've always liked about Strange New Worlds is the visual effects. I don't usually like computer graphics that much, but Strange New Worlds does it very well, I'd say, where the computer graphics are beautiful. The opening crawl is the best in any Star Trek, I'd say. Close second is Voyager, and both those just, oh yeah, exploring would be super cool. And I think the opening crawl in Strange New Worlds just keeps getting better and better with each season, this season being no exception. So overall, fun episode, some problematic story elements, but self-contained and very, very fun, I'd say. So now, that's the spoiler-free version, so if that's all you want to know, go watch it. Now we're going to get into a little bit of the spoiler territory. So this is a timey-wimey episode, right? And one of the bad things about it is that it has shrinking world syndrome, to borrow a phrase from decent films, where every event has to be explained by the Star Trek canon, right? That's ever happened. And the worst thing is it's our universe that is explaining these things, right? So in The Next Gen, the origin of life, aliens seeded it, one of the silliest episodes of Next Gen, and that's a high bar to be one of the silliest episodes. Well, in this, we have to get the explanation for what destroyed the dinosaurs, okay? Now part of Star Trek canon. So all of that, I think is pretty silly. I like that they make when they don't know when they've gotten to our solar system back in time. They don't know that that's where they've gotten. And they do a good job of 65 million years ago, Earth would be super alien. And that's one of the things I was talking about with the cool computer graphics, where exploring space and exploring just our solar system would be exciting, and Earth would be alien, and they do a really, really good job on that, where I like to contrast it with this exciting sci-fi in contrast to sci-fi grunge, right? Sci-fi grunge is a category I like to think of where, even if you found this huge water world with severe time dilation effects, that would be really boring and gray and washed out. I hate those. Even though there was, I think the best sci-fi grunge movie recently came out, and I'll talk about that more later. But this, even exploring our solar system, would be exciting, and I think that's more true to life, right? Out of Silent Planet is more true to life, where just our solar system would be amazingly cool to explore. So I love that. Difficult that we have to have this shrinking world syndrome. But there's two main moral problems that are really one main moral problem, but I'll split them into two. And the main thing is, okay, how much can we mess with back in time when we're there without ruining everything? So the first one is, can we kill a dinosaur that's an obstacle to us, or is the timeline so fragile that even a small action like that is going to have huge unintended consequences. Well, either the timeline has to be fragile or robust, but if you're stuck back there, you just have to act the way you would act, because they land a shuttle on Earth, and that, if anything, with its engines and all this stuff, if the timeline was so fragile, that would change the future. But the timeline could be really robust, and I think would be more likely really robust, where all those little things wouldn't matter, and even killing a T-Rex before a meteor hit anyway and killed them all anyway probably wouldn't affect it too much. Another thing is, I think it's super funny how people always think that T-Rex, this huge monster, would spend energy chasing humans to eat them. I think it's very, very unlikely. So the dilemma is, how do we get past this T-Rex? We can't kill him, and he wants to eat us. And he's even, not only is he a huge predator that it would take too much energy to eat us versus what he'd be getting, he's distracted by other things. There's pterodactyls fighting with him and stuff. He would not care about the humans at all. At all. So I think that's funny. That's not a problem on the story, but that they're all trying to be careful around him. It's like, if landing our ship here didn't change things, killing the T-Rex won't. Let's just hope that the timeline is more robust than that. Then the other difficulty that I find in this episode is that they have a dilemma where there's this two races fighting over the solar system, right? They're both from our solar system. Neither of them are from Earth, and they're fighting over it. And one steals technology from the Enterprise and makes a weapon with that they can genocide the other one. And Pike makes the decision not to stop that when he could have stopped it, because he's all like, that race doesn't actually exist. Their planet doesn't actually exist. So I was just keeping the timeline good. And so the question becomes, if we were back in time, what moral framework would we use for our actions? Well, I think you'd use the same moral framework as you do in our time. If you can stop someone from killing someone or doing something wrong, you do that. If you something evil, you don't do evil just to keep the timeline intact. So that moral dilemma is not even intelligently addressed from their framework. It's just kind of thrown in at the end. The writers make themselves a problem that didn't have to be made in any way with Pike, and they insert it incorrectly, vastly incorrectly. And that makes since it is just thrown in there at the end as a moral dilemma, I don't think it hurts the episode too much. But yeah, that is a problem with this episode, where he decides to let billions of people die because not even I want to keep my timeline intact, but this is the way it already had happened. Which you don't know anything about that. You don't know if their planet was destroyed some other way, or all kinds of things. It was, even from his framework, that you got to keep the timeline intact. Well, it doesn't make sense. And either, if you're thinking about time travel, either you're traveling back to a different timeline than yours, and then whatever you do is changing that timeline. Your timeline's going on the same. Basically, you died from your timeline. Or you're going back and the timeline will stay the same. It's robust enough that it can handle all your changes. Those are basically the two options, and we get into that more in other videos. But so though the storyline is kind of weak, but I love that the Earth back in time looks alien and awesome, and that is how Earth would look back in time, would look like an alien planet. I like that the exploring our solar system. I don't know why we have to explore the galaxy in all these shows and movies. Just our solar system would be more than enough for a series, or however many series you wanted to do. So overall, not an amazing episode, but pretty good. Enjoyed it, and I think you enjoyed it as well. I hope that was helpful for you. You have a wonderful day. God bless you.